This is the BlahCade Pinball Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Freebus, a.k.a. Shut Your Trap. Joining me, as always, halfway across the world, Jared Morgan.
Hello, everybody.
How are we doing? It's been a few, hasn't it?
It has been a few, indeed. Yes, we we decided to take a hiatus because there was really nothing to talk about worth talking about.
And then we actually, we tried last week. We honestly
we did.
tried.
We really did. Yeah, we really
were going
did.
to do a podcast. We were all set to do it. And to say there were technical difficulties would be a minor misnomer because either Jared couldn't hear me or I couldn't hear Jared. And then to boot it entirely into the stratosphere was my computer didn't record any of the audio. So,
yeah. So, yeah, it was a whitewash last week. An absolute get out of town. No way. Don't worry about it.
Things like, the good news is that it actually convinced Jared that he needed to download OBS to try and have a go at it himself.
Which is good. Like, it was a good experience to try and set it up. And I know now what Chris is faced with every single time he records.
Yeah, he didn't believe me. I don't think.
No, it's not so much I didn't believe you. Sometimes I need to experience things so I can maybe try to work out what's going on. And the announcer comes in and goes, he didn't. And the thing that's frustrating about OBS and Streamlabs as well, because I actually downloaded Streamlabs to try, it is the audio. The audio in this product is really, really hard to understand unless someone could throw me a OBS audio for dummies guide that lets me understand what each of the settings mean. It really is the most confusing part of the product. The setting up scenes is actually really intuitive. Like that makes a lot of sense. The video aspects of it it's great, but the audio, it is really frustrating to try and get right.
So here's what I want to throw out there to any of you else that have experience with OBS, because I'm kind of convinced it's not entirely OBS's fault, that it's probably how I also have my own computer audio set. And the issue that is driving me mental is the idea that I would like to use my headphones to monitor what is actually being put out. And if I can't hear it in the headphones, then that would mean that it's not being put out. So if any of you know a deeper understanding of OBS working with your computer's audio, drop us a note. You can do it in the YouTube comments, or you can contact us on Twitter. It'd be really handy to be able to actually have a conversation, because the thing is when I go to the OBS forums, there's a bazillion different answers and like I've tried doing the settings that people have had and had no luck, and then I tried different person settings and they work, but both of them are seemingly correct for whoever had their problem solved. So that's where we're kind of at with that.
Yeah, it's the thing I think that makes audio really hard on both OBS and Streamlabs is that every single computer is different. And there's no one size fit all. It's like it could be that someone's using a different like virtual audio card in their computer. It could be a Realtek versus some other video card, MediaTek or whatever. So how you set it up for one person's computer and hardware will be different for somebody else's, and it's probably why I haven't been able to find a really good comprehensive getting started guide for the products. Yeah. Unless I'm looking in the wrong place. And if I am, please do send me in the right place. And Chris as well.
Yep.
Because Chris has got it set up now where it's pretty much working well, except for a few, like that last 10% that you really want to get right. But it's like really, really hard to get right because you don't know what you need to set to get it to be right. That's sort of where he's up to at the moment. So that's where we need the help. So if there's any friends of the show out there who want to actually, give us a hand, then reach out and say g'day.
In other news, in case anybody was actually wondering, you may know that I had been working for Disneyland. Well, yes, I'm one of the 28,000 people that no longer has a job at Disneyland.
28,000 is a ridiculous amount of people.
It was kind of a large cut. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a big cut. Yes, and it's really crappy news. But
It is.
the only, not even positive part of it, but it's like you're not alone. So there's a large network of people out there that are sort of feeling the same things. Often, when you get made redundant or fired, or certainly in this case just furloughed. I think it was that's the new word for 2020. It's furloughed.
Yeah, there's a word I never knew before.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, everybody knows what furlough means now.
Kind of similar to how I never knew what Zoom was before 2020.
Yes. Yeah, your life is probably no richer for knowing what Zoom is. Let's be serious. But
it's like what else can 2020 take a dump on? Oh yeah, see, movie theaters. Yeah, those are taking a dump.
Yeah. Well, theme parks over there, I'd imagine, are still the same.
Yep. Tourist industry in general, that's toast. Airline industry is like about to be majorly hurting. What a great year.
Basically on the ropes. Yeah, it's everything is on the ropes. Basically, it's been knocked around for 8 rounds. The funny thing about theme parks here is they're open here in Australia with a COVID-safe plan. And which is what the government's calling, limited access, capped numbers, social distancing, hand sanitizers everywhere. But the thing that boggles my mind is that they've had since March to go and do maintenance on the park and get everything working. So they're up and running now. And lo and behold, 2 of the major attractions are down for maintenance. It's like, hang on.
Way to time it, folks.
So you had literally 6 months of get your stuff worked out, and now 2 of the key attractions that are there. I mean, there's a hypercoaster there which is working. All the newer attractions are working, but all the older ones, like I think the Scooby-Doo Spooky Coaster, which is one of those Mad Mouse indoor roller coasters, that's out. And there's a couple of other ones there as well, like Arkham Asylum, which is the inverted Intamin roller coaster they have there with VR goggles on. Yeah, that's down as well. And these are things that I was seriously considering going yesterday to a theme park and just spending the day there. But if the attractions aren't working, like if not every single attraction is working, I'm sorry, I'm not going. I don't get an opportunity to go to a theme park that often.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I want everything to be working.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I know that as far as Disney is concerned, they're open in Florida, as is Universal. I don't know throughout the country how many other theme parks are actually open. I mean, we've got a lot of theme parks throughout the country.
Yeah, you got Six Flags and all that over there.
Six Flags, Cedar Fair. Those are the other 2 big companies. But here in California, none of them are open. So that's that. Sliding that into the realm of pinball, I know that's what you all show up here for, right? And we actually have stuff to talk about today.
Well. Yeah, we just preloaded our tangents up front, I think.
We do. But there's where, with pinball, it's actually, they're seeing it on a rise. And we're going to get into that a little bit later with a certain new machine that recently came out from Jersey Jack Pinball. And I saw a news report basically stating that Jersey Jack, Stern, their pinball sales they're backlogged now.
Yes.
So at least somebody's happy about all of this.
Somebody's winning. Winning.
Unfortunately, the operators aren't, because nobody can go to the places that actually have pinball, because, sweaty palms all over them would have to be cleaned between every single play. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. Netherworld work around it differently. They just have sanitizing hand pumps at every pinball machine. And, the expectation is that you do a little pump and play. So you put the hand sanitizer on, and then you let it dry, and then you start playing the game. And it seems to be working all right. I mean, sure, when people get drunk, they're probably not going to do it. Let's be honest. But I think that for the most part, people kind of get that that's the new normal now, and you kind of just have to use it. But there's one thing to note, that you can only really use hand sanitizer twice before you then have to wash your hands properly. So You can't just go for 13 machine bonanza and just keep pumping between machines because it stops working. And also your nails strip off as well. I don't know if you've seen any news about that. But if
No,
you use
I
hand
haven't.
sanitizer, yeah, if you use hand sanitizer too much, it basically makes your nails lift. Your fingernails lift off. And there's some people that, live around here. Like our next door neighbor had that problem and she had to be on like special dermatitis cream to actually settle her hands down because she was using hand sanitizer that much.
Well,
So yeah, don't
special?
overuse that stuff. Yeah, don't overuse it too much. Like just be sensible about it, all right, folks.
All right, let's move on to the obvious news. As if you've been living under a rock, Volume 6 of the Williams Pinball from Zen dropping on the 20th of October. So by the time you're listening to this, it's either just about to drop or already has. Those 3 tables being, in case you forgot, Funhouse, yay, Dr. Dude, and Space Station.
Yes.
So they're finally going to be getting out. We still have not seen the finished product ourselves, even though we were beta.
Nope.
So they're cutting it to the wire. So we'll be just as surprised as you to see what the finished product actually looks like. I'm excited to see how they manage to make function the score displays. Is basically what I'm most keen to see.
Yeah, they've had a lot of time to refine them, and I know it's been challenging for them to get them right. But the good news is that that paves the way, doesn't it, for all the alphanumerics now that they've got the tech right. Yeah, so that's good news.
That is good news. So go on out there, quit complaining, and plop down your. I imagine it's $10 for the 3
Something
tables.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, be about 10.
And I keep on saying, Funhouse and Dr. Dude alone are worth it, and Space Station, I'm not a fan of tables that don't have flipper inlanes.
The Italian bottom.
Yeah. So it's going to take some getting warmed up for me to enjoy Space Station, but the other two,
it's fun once you. It really is a fun game once you get into it. Like it's a classic System 11 or System 9 style game. System 9 really, but yeah, it's fun. It just the ball is wild down the bottom. It's definitely wild, but yeah, it'll grow on you.
And then it'll be very interesting to see if Zen has any other tricks up their sleeves before the new year, or if they too have just gone, you know what, 2020, screw you.
2020 gives you plenty. That's what they like to say down here. Except in the case of pinball, which gives you nothing.